Hello everyone, welcome back to Limatech once again. In this video, I'll show you how you can implement this design currently that you are seeing on my screen, and we'll try to implement this same design in our Flutter. So we are going to implement this design with the help of a special widget called Accordion. So let's see how we can do that. Let me take you to the VS Code to start implementing the design. If you are new to my YouTube channel and if you like the content that I have been creating and sharing with you all, then please do consider subscribing, hit the like button and also press the bell icon so that you can get the notification as soon as I upload my latest videos. Let's start coding. I have already created a dummy project and removed the unnecessary things from our main.dart file and modified the titles to meet our design. In our design we have a bar called Indian cricket player. The same thing I have modified to Indian cricket player. We need some information like images and the records, the data for each player and the details or the records of each player. I have already downloaded some images as you can see in this UI design, and also created a JSON format data to save some time. Let me show you what I have already gathered so far. And the data regarding the players also gathered and kept inside a list of map, because we are having three players and three players has different records individually. So I have already kept these things in a map and a map of a list so that we can have multiple records, and whenever the user tries to interact and to view the details, they can choose any of the players from the list. So let's try implementing. And to implement the accordion, we will need to add one dependency is called accordion. So for that, let's visit to pub.dev site and look for accordion. This is the accordion plugin or dependencies that you need to use for this tutorial. I'm just going to grab it and keep it or add it on my pubspec.yml file. I have already added that in my file so that I can show you the example directly. Now let's come to the main implementation part. Here in our emulator there is nothing inside this main.dart file. Inside this white page, it's blank. So if I come to our scaffold section, I have a container only. That's why we are getting the the white color. We only have container. That's why we are getting a white background. Let's change it to, or let's wrap this with a single child scroll view, because single child scroll view allow us to scroll from top to bottom if we have multiple records in our list, and that list, if it is not fitting in this height of this page, then that list will grow and it will allow us to scroll down or scroll top so that we can see the rest of the data which are hidden in this page. Let me add a child to this container, and that child will be our list view dot builder. This builder will give us a context and index, and we need to return something from this builder, and we have to add an item count in this list view builder so that it can know how many times it needs to iterate, and that count I can get from our data here. In this we have a player data with the three map records, so it will have a length, and that length can give us a item count, player data dot length. So it is going to iterate 3 times now because we have 3 records in our data. And before that, add 2 more properties. One is called shrink wrap and another is called physics, and save it. Nothing is visible because we haven't added any child to this container which is inside the list view. I'm just going to print index of this list. Now you can see we got 0, 1, 2, the index of this players data dot length. As per our design, we have like image, the name, players type, and to that we have a button, a drop down button. So let's go and add our accordion, which can give us the similar view as in that UI. So I'm going to remove this text and I'm going to add accordion. Accordion accepts a children of list of accordion section. So just let me remove that and add a accordion section. Accordion section. Accordion section has two mandatory properties. One is header and another is content. So for now, let's add a header through our text widget. I'm going to name it as a header as of now, and copy this, paste it here and rename as content. Give a comma at the end of each widget so that it can be formatted properly, and I saved it. Now we got our accordion widgets, and once we click on the accordion buttons, we are getting the content. Similarly, all the accordion sections are being opened once we click the drop down button icon, but the height of these accordion sections are not looking properly. So what we can do, we can wrap this text or the header text widget with a column or with a container and give a certain height to that container. Let's add a height with the help of media query. I'm going to add a 0.1 and save it. The height of this header appropriately, but you can see there are gaps between each accordion section. And why we are getting that? Because it automatically adds a gap between those accordion sections when you use those in a list view. And to avoid that one, accordion gives us two properties. Through that we can minimize the gaps between those. One is list, padding list top, make it to 0, and another is make it to 0, and another is padding list bottom. If you make it to 0, both this padding list top and bottom, then there will be minimal gap between this accordion section inside a accordion. And we can see our first accordion section is getting attached with the up bar. So let's go and add some margin to the container where we have kept our list view. I'm coming to here to the parent container which holds our list view and will give some margin, and that margin will be top. So there is a property edge insets dot only, because only can help us to give particular either left, right, top or bottom. In our case we are going to give top margin. Just save it, and you can see our margin has been added or applied to our top container which holds our list view. Just add some cons to here and save it. Now our header is done. Once we click, we are getting content. So first let's design this header section and then come back to the content section. In our header, if we go to our image or our design, in our header we have image, the name and the type of player and other details. So let's come to this one. In our header section, I am removing this header section text widget and I'll replace with the other widgets. There are two ways we can achieve this kind of UI design. One is list style, another is using row and column widgets. We'll go with the next approach, that is by using normal row and column widgets. So I'm going to have a row widget to hold two sections. It will have one container and another container which will hold a column widget to display those names and type of players. Inside this container I will give some width to this one, media query of context width, and that width will be 0.05. And inside container we have a property called decoration. Box decoration is a property, and this box decoration has so many properties within it. One of them is image, because we need the image, so we are going to use this image property. This image property accepts decoration image, and here we are going to give image as a asset image. Here inside this asset image we will give the path of our image URL, which we have kept in this field. Let me go here, and inside this one we are going to access the place data. With the help of index we can get the image URL. Let's save it. Let me add comma. Now save it, and we should be able to see the images here. We got the image, but this image is too much small. Let me make it to 1.5. Okay, this is quite okay, but let's make it 2. Now the image is somewhat okay. So there is another property in image, that is fit. Fit is available inside this decoration image. Fit property help the image to fit to its parent widget. I am just going to add boxFit.fill. So the images are fit to our parent widget, which is nothing but container. Let's just add some radius to the corner so that it can match to our design. I'll give a value of 15. You can see we have added some radius to the images so that it can match to our UI design like this one. We can also give some padding to this widget so that it can have a little padding around it, and that padding can be of value 2. Okay, let's increase that to 3. I guess it should be 4. Okay, now the images part is done. The next part will be to show the names and the type of player next to the image. So here in this container I am going to have another child which will be of type column, and in this column we are going to have containers, probably 3 containers I am going to have. One for showing name and another for showing type of player. Child text, I am going to access that player name here with this property. Replace image URL with name and save it. Now you can see our names also visible next to the image section. Just add some style to the text, and that style can be added through our text style. I'm going to give font size of 18 as of now, and the weight will be bold, font weight bold, and color will be colors.white. The text color will be white. I'll also add some padding to this container or to this name, so that from the top it should adjust itself to have some gap, and this padding will be 2. Now it looks quite fine. The next part is we need to show the player type. Here I am going to change the value to 12, and in this data we have a player type and is captain. Now let's add a condition to show whether he is a captain or not. To do so, I am going to check, or I am going to access that property whether is captain is a true value or not. It's captain. If it is true, then I will say captain, or else nothing. So we are getting some error, and the error is unnecessary string interpolation. Condition must have a static of boolean. So it says the data which we are getting is not of a boolean type. So as of now, let me just print this one and leave the other things. So I am going to have another section where we will print the batsman type or the type of player. Here player type is there. Let's remove with this player type, and as of now just save it. Now you can see we got the details, like it is true, true, false. I think the value which I saved was not saved actually. Here static values always gets initialized once, and those will not change until unless you reload the application. Now in the section of Virat Kohli it is false. So let's come back to this main.dart file, and let's make this column properties or add the main axis alignment to start. Not main axis alignment, but the cross axis alignment to the start. Because the false or the batsman type was in the center, so I just wanted it to be visible to the left of the or just to the adjacent of the images. You can see it's looking properly. And let's change the size of this type of batsman or type of player to 16, and it is quite looking good. Now what I'll do, I'll change this background color as per our UI design, and we'll also change the text color. So you can directly use this color code to change our background. Come to this section where we are returning the container or this whole widget section, and change the color. Here I am going to add a decoration and the box decoration. Here we have a color, and to add your hexa color, how you can pass, we will have to pass 0x capital F double F and pass that hexa code. Then you can get the exact color as per your Figma design. Now I am saving it, and still we didn't get the background color. Okay, I did a mistake. That is nothing but this background color of header will not be modified if we just add into our decoration. There is a special property inside this accordion section or in the accordion. Accordion has a background color property or header background color, and in that we can give our hexa color code. And now you saw our hexa color code applied to our accordion header section. Similarly, let's grab this name color code here and come to our name section. Here instead of these colors, I am going to give that hexa color code through our color class. This is the standard. Then after this value you need to pass your hexa code. It says some problem. Let me copy from here. Now it worked fine. So let's come back to this one. Change the last 6 digits of your color code. Now if I come, then we got exactly the same color as in our UI design. So similarly the other details I am going to change. Let me come to this right hand basement type, red color, and come to this section where we have our player type section, and copy this one, come to this place, copy, cut and paste inside this color, and remove the color from here, save it. Now you can see we have got the colors and the color of the name of the player and the type of the player, but there is some space problem. All the widgets are mixed with each other, so let's give some padding around all the widgets so that we can have a proper space between all those names and type of players. So we have already added a padding. Let's increase it to 4 so that they can have more space among them. I just added 4 and now it looks quite fine. The next step will be to decorate our content section. Before that, let's change this background color of this white space and as well as the up bar. To do so, let's come back to our scaffold section, and we have a property background color. With the help of this hexa color, we can change it to background. Let's come to our Figma design and copy this hexa code, come to this place and paste it. Similarly, I am going to copy this one and add it to our up bar as well and save it. Now our up bar and background color of scaffold is changed to black color. We have a drop down button to the right of this container which is not clearly visible. So let's change that icon and change that icon color as well. To add a icon to the right of this accordion, I'm going to use a icon that can be similar to this drop down icon. That is nothing but our keyboard arrow down icon. This is what we are going to use here, and I'll change this color to colors dot black and we'll save it. Now we got the icon, but the icon is still to the right of the container. I'm going to give some size to this icon of 40 and also add a padding to this icon widget so that it can come just little left to this container, or it should have some space in the right side. Now you can see our drop down is clearly visible. Let's decorate this content section. To decorate this content section, come to our content section and remove this one. I am going to have a container as a parent, and in the child I'll take one column, because inside this column I will have our header and the test ODI and T20, 4 rows, and another row will be there to give some description. So in total we will take 4 rows inside a column widget. So for the first time, let's add a comma and format it. Inside this column I am going to add the children's, and children's will be rows, 4 rows. First time let's add one row and we'll copy and paste the remaining rows. So let's have 4 container for 4 header. We have 4 headers, 1 2 3 4. So let's have 4 container, 1 container, and I'll add some width to this container, and the width will be with the help of media query. I'm going to add 2.5, and inside this media query or inside this child I'll have another widget called text to show header as format, and style needs to be implemented, and the style will be something like this. So it will have the color the color of the header is yellow. So let's come here and copy this color code and paste it here. Format it and save it and see the changes whether it's working or not. Yes, it's visible, but you cannot see because the background color is white. Let's change the content background color, and to change the content background color we have a content background color property. Similarly, with the help of color class we can add the hexacode color. Like we have this background color, copy this background color hexacode and save it. Okay, I think the color code was not copied. Copy this color code and content background color, change it to this one. Okay, I think I think I missed to add FF because this is the format, the pre-text that we need to add inside the color class in order to use your hexacode 0xFF, then the remaining 6-digit hexacode. Now click it, we got the background color modified and the header also visible format. Let me come to this content section once again, and let's make this font weight to bold, and save it. And I'm going to make the text alignment to left. Similarly, copy and paste 3 more times and rename those as per our design. Second is highest and hundreds and fifties. First is our format, second is highest, third is hundreds, and fourth is fifties. Save it and see the changes. Now we got all those header, but still we can see there is some error. So for the last widget, what I am going to do, I'll decrease the width. Still I am getting some error. I'll make to 1.5 so that it can fit to our width. Still I'm getting error. Let's decrease the width of the hundreds as well. Now it is fine. Now we got our format or the header section. Let's create another row and copy paste that row 3 times. Now I have pasted only 1 time, and I'm going to change here, like the format is of test type. I have added the test type format here, and here we are going to remove this color code and change it with the help of colors and give the font color to white. And as we got our format highest and hundreds and fifties, in the value section we are going to access the particular player's value with the help of our player data that we can get from here. Here I am going to get the player data for respective format. For test format we have these details, right? So let's go and access these properties. Test properties data, player type not required. I'm going to get the test property data here first. Then the test has another property called best performance and best performance, and the font color should be changed for the record section, and that is going to be white. Add const added const. Similarly for hundreds, how many hundreds this player has made. Hundreds is the key to showcase the number of hundreds that player has hit or scored so far. Remove this const from here as well, and here the key is hundreds. Similarly, come here and remove this constant and change with 50s. Now save it. We saw, right, test 257 runs and 100 century and 25 half centuries. So let me just remove this text or records colors to white. Similarly, replace this with this above records, and here also in format, and I'm just going to give some height between these records and the header. Height will be 15. Now expand the format. Okay, 15 is too much. I think it will be 8 will be enough. Okay, now it's fine. So let's copy and paste these two more records and change the values as per our data. So for the first record we got the test values or test property values. For the second we are going to get ODI values, because we have the ODI record as well, and copy paste these ODI records for this second rows. Similarly, I am going to copy and paste for T20s. T20, and here it will be T20. Copy, paste, copy and paste, and save it. Yes, now you saw, right, but there is two test record. I think I need to delete one more row here. There you go. So we have successfully implemented this design with the help of accordion, and when you click this accordion button, it gets expanded and you can see the records. But there is some problem here. In under the Rohit Sharma, true and false values are printed. Why those values are printed? Let me come to the header section, and in this each captain, what we are going to do, we will check whether it is true or not. If it is true, we will show captain, otherwise we will not show anything. Or else what we can do, If it is true, then only we are going to show this widget and will not show the widget otherwise. For this, because in one team only one captain will be there, so we are going to hardcode this captain value, and above this one I am going to add a if condition, and if the condition is true, then only the captain section will be visible. Now you can see captain is visible, and the captain color should be changed to the name color. As you can see, I am going to change it this color code and save it. And the captain section is not bold in our design. As you can see, the captain section is not bold, it is in normal font weight, so I removed the bold one, and we can see captain and batsman, and if I click on the Virat Kohli section, it is expanded. So finally our design is ready, and thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions, or if you want to know about any other widgets or any topic that you want me to create a video and share with you all. Thank you so much once again.